kind of blacklisted. I haven't gotten a studio job in 15 years.
So you feel in a way that you are banned from the...
No, not in a way.
You are?
Yeah, I think.
So I really didn't have a chance to defend myself.
Right, yeah.
So the hardest part was calling friends and people that I worked with.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
One of the things they buy for all that money, your life for a period.
From Hollywood royalty to straight to DVD, Val Kilmer's story is wild. A-list icon, throat cancer survivor, and now allegedly blacklisted for 15 years. Now that he's passed at 65, fans are asking, what really happened to Val Kilmer? Because his downfall, way too weird to ignore. Let's rewind to Val's golden era, the 80s and early 90s. Juilliard-trained, dangerously charming, and unstoppable. From Top Gun to The Doors to Batman Forever, he didn't just act, he dominated. He was Hollywood. But by 1999, Val vanished. No more blockbusters, just DVD releases. What went down? Take Batman Forever. Val killed that role. It made $330 million plus worldwide, yet when the sequel dropped, he was gone, replaced by Clooney without a word. Why would they drop him at the height of his fame? Well, director Joel Schumacher publicly dragged Val, calling him psychotic and a nightmare to work with. But let's be real, Hollywood rewards difficult men all the time. So was that just an excuse to push Val out?
I had ideas, insecurities, obviously, about myself that I projected onto the movie business. Just the sounds coming out of my mouth, it was just absurdly unrealistic. So apparently, I have an evil twin.
Because guess what? Val himself said he was blacklisted, straight up. According to Kilmer, his fall from grace wasn't about bad behavior.
Do you think that people found it difficult to work with you because
Yeah,
of that?
what's the one past difficult? Impossible?
Impossible.
Yeah, I'm kind of blacklisted. I haven't gotten a studio job in 15 years.
So you feel in a way that you are banned from the...
No, not in a way.
You are?
Yeah, I think.
Are your goal to get back or...?
Yeah, I'd love to. I've always watched movies and wondered what I'd be like.
Wished he'd done it all differently.
Get back to, will you behave in another way or...?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the way that gets me hired again. I was very outspoken about very specific things about the art. But it's a business. And I acted like it was.
He claimed it was because he spoke up.
Actor. But I did complain quite a bit when I was younger. I didn't appreciate the business that afforded me the lifestyle that I very quickly enjoyed. Very quickly. I starred in my first movie. I was the lead in the first play I did professionally. And now that I don't have that privilege, I wish that I loved more. I want to be a better person. I try to figure that out every day and of being more...
But about what exactly? That's the juicy part. Val dropped little hints over the years, painting Hollywood as a place that demanded obedience, silence, and constant gratitude. No questions, no complaints. Just fall in line. He said, if you don't play by the rules, you don't work. And guess what? From 1999 onward, that's exactly what happened. 15 years of virtual silence, 15 years without major roles. This was a man who used to trade lines with Tom Cruise and Al Pacino, now reduced to background noise. Meanwhile, Val's one-time buddy Tom Cruise, skyrocketing. And just when things couldn't get worse, Val's health shattered. In 2014, he was diagnosed with throat cancer, a battle he kept deeply private for years.
Recently diagnosed with throat cancer. I'm still recovering, and it is difficult to talk and to be understood.
Fans started noticing the scarves around his neck and the rasp in his voice, but they had no idea how serious it was. Eventually, Val underwent a tracheotomy that permanently altered his voice.
I am sorry improving, so yes, of course I intend to work until I'm 152. I want to play the oldest man on earth.
But even then, baby, Val refused to quit. He kept acting, wrote poetry, and produced a raw documentary, Val, using decades of his own footage. It's like he knew no one else would tell his story right. And in that film, you don't just see a sick man. You see someone who knew he was blacklisted. Fans are convinced it wasn't bad luck. It was punishment for refusing to play by Hollywood's dark rules. And honey, that's when the conspiracy theories exploded. Because Val's fall, it mirrors others. Mel Gibson, Wesley Snipes, stars who either spoke out or allegedly refused to bow to Hollywood's elite. Wesley Snipes, one of the biggest 90s action heroes, suddenly painted as the poster boy for tax evasion. Meanwhile, others with worse crimes keep winning Oscars. Make it make sense. Even when Stallone dragged Kilmer, Gibson, and Snipes into Expendables 3 for a comeback, they were sidelined as villains and side characters, never leads. And it gets creepier. There's an old 1998 clip of Mel Gibson, way before the media destroyed him, describing Hollywood as a hostile saloon, where the second you walk in, the room goes ice cold.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it.
He said the second you walk in, the room goes dead silent.
The whole place can't be like, you know, Weird Town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house on the hill, and it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly.
And looking back, he wasn't being paranoid. He was warning us. And don't forget, after Mel's fallout, his only major hit was The Passion of the Christ, which he had to finance himself because no studio would touch it. And it still became one of the highest grossing R-rated movies ever. Clearly, it wasn't his talent that was the problem. It was Hollywood shutting him out. And here's another spine-chilling detail. Val Kilmer's career collapse perfectly lines up with the release of Stanley Kubrick's final movie, Eyes Wide Shut, in 1999. If you know, you know. Secret societies, masks, power, control, art imitating life. Kubrick mysteriously died before the film was finished. And Kilmer, his career mysteriously died too.
Well known that the cut presented a few days before Kubrick's death was too jarring for executives that they cut 25 minutes out without Kubrick there to oppose the decision. This left many storylines seemingly unresolved, so we're not really sure if the story is actually what was intended.
You're telling me Val Kilmer, who once stood toe-to-toe with Tom Cruise, falls from grace the same year Tom stars in a movie exposing elite rituals? Yeah, let's not act like that's just coincidence. Because remember, Val and Tom weren't just co-stars in Top Gun. There were whispers for years that behind the scenes, they were rivals. There was tension, battles over creative control, ego clashes. And while Tom Cruise, he soared, literally and metaphorically. Val, he vanished. And don't you dare say it was because Val lost his talent. He didn't. Something in the system shifted against him. And here's something even creepier. Val Kilmer was obsessed with documenting everything. Way before TikTok, before iPhones, Val was recording his entire life. Sets, private moments, childhood memories, you name it.
Thousands of hours of videotapes and film reels that I've shot throughout my life and career.
Shut the video camera off. I will keep it on until we're rehearsing.
Oh, Val! He wasn't just making home movies, he was gathering evidence. Because deep down, maybe he knew someday the truth about Hollywood would need receipts. And speaking of timing, Val's downfall weirdly lines up with the whispers about that infamous island, you know the one, connected to billionaires, celebrities, and absolutely sinister rumors. Nobody's saying Val was involved, but the timing, too convenient. And then there's the wildest theory yet, the Mandela effect. Specifically about Val Kilmer, people swear they remember hearing about Val's death years ago. When Top Gun, Maverick dropped, fans legit thought it was a posthumous tribute.
Commented the moment I posted that, and they said, this is, weird because I thought he died a couple years ago. And then I thought back, and I thought, wait a second. When Top Gun Maverick came out, he died right before it, and they had this big tribute about it.
They remember obituaries, tributes, entire articles, yet nothing exists.
It was the last time you were going to see Val Kilmer on screen. And I remember he looked so frail and ill in Top Gun Maverick. And I swear I remember them announcing that he died either a couple months before or a couple months after the movie came out. I cannot be the only person that remembers this. Do any of you remember Val Kilmer dying back when Top Gun Maverick came out? And now they're trying to say he died again, like a couple days ago? This is some serious Mandela effect, man.
It's eerie, it's unsettling, and it's fueling even more conspiracy theories. Some fans even whisper Val's Maverick scenes were deep fakes, or filmed years before a secret death only announced later. Wild? Absolutely. Impossible? Not in Hollywood, baby. But while the rumors exploded, the heartbreaking truth hit. At the time of his death, Val's net worth was just $10 million. For a man whose movies made $3.7 billion, fans blame a brutal mix. Blacklisting, medical bills, lost roles. It bled him dry. Still, Val wasn't foolish. He knew the system was rigged. So before he passed, he made sure his kids were protected. Val didn't just leave a will, he booby-trapped his fortune. Sources say he built $680 million over his career. Instead of handing it over, he locked it down, specifically to block his ex, Joanne Wally, from touching a dime. How savage. Joanne has to wait until she's 70 to access it, and she's only 58 now, meaning 12 long years. And until then, she gets a modest $50,000 a month, which in Beverly Hills is basically brunch and Louboutins. And Val made it airtight. That 12-year delay, it lands after California's alimony statute expires, meaning she can't sue later. Checkmate. But he didn't stop there. Val allegedly converted $23 million into Bitcoin, split cleanly between his kids and lawyer, untouchable. And just before his death, Val posted a photo of a Batman mask, a final emotional nod to the role he once wore, and the Hollywood game he refused to play anymore.
I have an article for us. It's been a while.
Some say it was his final goodbye, a nod to the role he regretted walking away from. Others think it was his final warning, a symbol of the mask he had to wear in Hollywood just to survive. And when Val's daughter Mercedes confirmed his passing from pneumonia, it only added more gasoline to the conspiracy fire, because pneumonia, honey, has become the official cause of death for a lot of people who had a little too much dirt on the wrong powerful people. Hello, Kim Porter? The whispers are loud.
Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only two left are Puffy and Al almost died. Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide, and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia.
Of course, all of this is still speculation, but baby, the dots are connecting themselves. In the end, Val Kilmer's life was a story of breathtaking talent and unspeakable tragedy. A Juilliard-trained legend who once had Hollywood at his feet, only to watch the system erase him, allegedly, all because he refused to play the game. And now that he's gone, fans aren't letting it go. They're digging up the clues. They're demanding answers, because if there's one thing Val taught us, it's this. You can silence a voice, but you can't bury the truth. And if this story already has your head spinning, buckle up, babe, because we've got another deep dive coming up next. And trust me, it's even messier. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.